Boom, we're live. So,
16th consecutive league win for us, tying the Barcelona record. Let's see if we can get the 17th win next league match. But let's talk a little bit tonight about the match, which for me was left us wanting more, I would definitely say, in terms of play, some worrisome or troublesome things that we saw, but also some good individual effort.
yeah, what do you think about certain players? Let's start it with the back. Let's start with the back line.
The back line.
Sergio Ramos. Ooh.
Sergio Ramos, or for people who don't understand me when I say Sergio Ramos, Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos. Yeah. Sergio Ramos and Pepe, when they're together, because they're both players that like to move up and be in the play, they seem to be out of position today, and that caused them to make a lot of really dangerous errors. You know, Sergio Ramos had a bad touch that it should have been. I mean, it looked like he could have gotten a red card today, or double yellow carded. They weren't the best today, and then when Ramos took that free kick, which was shot, it wasn't a bad free kick, but not sure he was the guy to take the free kick, considering he had other players in the team that were on the pitch to take that free kick.
Totally agree. Sergio Ramos, he had this weird kind of match. He's always making these kind of, not always, but tonight he made these silly mistakes that were just kind of, honestly, he had me on edge the whole time. I was just like, he's going to get a red card. He had that handball in the right at the edge of the box that he kind of, you know.
Okay, to be that's sort of controversial. People say, oh, and then he was on the ground acting, but at the same time, like, as a player, what do? You don't say, oops, sorry, I was a handball. You sell it. You say, it wasn't a handball, I got smashed in the face, because he knows he's carrying a yellow card.
Yeah.
If he gets caught, I mean, potentially, depending on the referee, it could be a potential second yellow card, which is him getting thrown off. So I don't really have a problem with him doing that. I probably would have done that whenever I make handballs in a game. I'm always like, nah, it wasn't me.
Yeah, no, I get it. But, you know, it's kind of something that, unfortunately, we've started to, you know, kind of almost expect from Sergio Ramos to have these little, you know, kind of like, as Vitali likes to say, mental lagoons, right? Like kind of weird decision-making. But anyway, the important thing is that we got the 3 points, 16 consecutive wins.
Yes.
Not the greatest match, especially the first half. I don't know if you guys agree. It was probably some of the most horrible football I've seen Real Madrid play in the last few matches for sure. But again, you know, at the end, this is what the important thing is, that we're winning.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can get away. We score goals and we can get away with playing like that, unfortunately, because I think it sort of sets a bad precedent for when we do need to play against a stronger team like Barcelona, or in the Champions League, like we saw in that match against Sporting. Not to take anything away from Sporting, they played well, but we didn't play that great. So I think they sort of decide when to turn it on and when they can play a little bit turned off, which is unfortunate for us as the viewers, because we're suffering. Like, what is going on? My prediction was 5-1. I thought it was going to be the goal fest. I was not nearly close.
Yeah, you know what? One thing that I think the guys in Spanish, Iñaki and Vitali, were talking about is that, you know, Real Madrid should start playing like something. Like, you know, we're kind of giving them time. You know, the season just started, so we feel like, okay, you know what, let's give them some time. Maybe physically their muscles are still kind of tight from all the conditioning and so on, but we need to start playing what we're going to play at for the rest of the season, and that needs to start now, because we have Dortmund coming up, and that is going to be a very tough match. And just these away matches, I feel like we should be a little bit more assertive, a little bit more controlling with what we want to do.
I mean, I think that it's because we do have such a great squad of players, and our starting 11 plus the next 5 are amazing players that we should, when we step on the field, set the tone of the match, as opposed to waiting until the second half to really start dominating. It's probably stressful for the players, because I think that first half was so disconnected that you could tell the players were sort of out of it. I mean, we saw Modric making mistakes that he doesn't usually make. Yeah. Marcelo, and you were talking about this if we were talking about the defense. I mean, we know Marcelo he's wonderful on the attack. Sometimes he's really great at defense, but I don't know, he's not known necessarily for his defensive abilities. But today was really worrying. I mean, he was making so many mistakes, bad passes, and it wasn't just Marcelo. It was Marcelo, it was Modric. It was all the players looked a little bit off in the first half.
Yeah, Marcelo's had a couple of matches. The last few matches, they've been a little bit kind of worrying,
Yeah.
because he's usually he's not that great defending, but attacking he's usually very good. He's very good at combining.
Combining.
He's very good at combining with other players, but he just seems a little bit off. I don't know what it is, but let's hope he gets it together. Let's be a little bit more positive. Let's talk about the positives.
The positive.
Lucas Vázquez.
It's very great. He's very great. Wow, I couldn't think of any better adjectives for that than very great. Lucas Vázquez. I love him. I love his work rate, but especially, and we're seeing now, he looks more confident on the ball, on the dribble, and he is so dangerous. He makes it really difficult for the opponents, especially in their defensive third, our offensive third. He's always creating danger. He's the king of assists. I wish I had the numbers.
Yeah.
I had like a graph pulled up right here of his numbers, but he has, I don't know how many assists this season, but he assisted Benzema's goal, which was really individual work by him. Good ball through from Carvajal, and easy goal for Benzema, who's in the right place. So I love what he's doing. I think he's getting the minutes that he deserves, and he's showing us every single match that he deserves those minutes and that he is the man for that position.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love Lucas Vázquez. Every time he comes in, either as a sub or as a starter, he makes something happen. He's such a worker. His work rate is great, on and off the ball. Love him. Let's talk about James a little bit. What do you think of him?
And finally, we got to see James getting the nod in the starting position today. So I think lots of James fans around the world, as Mateo is Colombiano. I'm sure he's happy and all of Colombia is celebrating. I don't know if you're texting with your friends back home.
No, I mean, I think James, he didn't play a very good match.
But to be fair, that no one in the first half really played great. And I think that it was a really great individual effort. He really got stuck in those tackles, went forward, and that was a great finish that he had from outside the box.
Yeah.
I mean, left-footed, lower corner. It was well placed. I really liked it. And he came off, but I think those were good minutes for him. I think he needed to see that Zidane believes in him to have that starting position. He got the goal, which put us ahead, which I think sort of changed a little bit of the momentum of the game, got us believing, and it's just good to see James happy. He looked at, we watched a little after the match, he looked happy. Yeah,
as a Colombian, we're used to seeing James with the national team playing, kind of, as we say in Spanish, like mordiendo, just being very intense and kind of trying to get the ball from his opponents. Aggressive, just has that intensity, and we're starting to see a little bit more of that James. And I feel like the goal that he scored today was just he was determined to get that ball, and he didn't allow for the defenders to get him. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, James nutmegged the guy." Yeah, technically he did nutmeg a guy, but it was just, I think, him just fighting to get that ball in. And at the end, he got a very good strike. His left foot is incredible, and he got it in. I was a little bit surprised that that Zidane didn't give him the full match. Change. Well, apart from Casemiro. I would have liked to see him play 90 minutes, but I think it's a great start for James.
It is great.
Let's hope that he keeps it up.
Right. I mean, if this is the rate that he's going at, last match came in for 18 minutes. At the end of the game, had a game-winning assist. This match scores essentially the game-winning goal because it was the first goal, and then starting. I mean, if this is how he's starting the season, I can only imagine if he keeps can only go up from here. I guess he could go down. But I mean, that's great news for us. And Benzema, I mean, I think people are I just would like to talk about Benzema for a little bit. People are very, very critical of Benzema. Maybe they didn't think that he was so mobile today. Maybe had a couple of mistakes. But really, if you look at the shots on target that he had, that goal that was called offside, which was barely offside, the goal that he had, I think Benzema's so underrated. I'm a huge Benzema fan, and I liked him today. The minutes that he put in, he made the most of. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, he had that scissor kick that would have been an amazing goal. Oh, yeah, that was great. Oof. A lot of you guys out there, Amita Fai, Trigger Happy, Stefan Schwarzmeyer, you guys are talking about new Knicks 4. You guys are talking about the Casemiro versus Toni Kroos. Do we need that central defensive midfielder to be Casemiro? I honestly don't think that we do most of the time. I do think that Casemiro brings a lot of balance in the defense, but in matches like this, and I think Real Madrid's or Ancelotti's Real Madrid proved that we don't really need that kind of holding center mid. I think Toni Kroos, he pretty much marked the pace of the match today as he got kind of looser and he got kind of warmed up. He started
being the guy that kind of called the shots. That usually kind of Modric is that, that playmaker type. And I don't think we need Casemiro, but we do need him. I really do think that we need that kind of player in big Champions League matches.
True.
I really hope that he's fit against Borussia Dortmund.
I do hope so. That was a hard kick he took to the back. I don't know if it was his Achilles, if it was his calf, but it looked like it hurt. And he was like limping, couldn't even walk. So that's unfortunate for him, unfortunate for us. But like you said, I think we can get on without him. We have loads of players, and we've seen that depending on the system, we function just fine without him. That being said, I think he does bring a certain amount of balance to our defense, especially because Pepe and Ramos love to go up. And when one of them goes up, someone needs to hold back in that space. I think that's where we find problems. We don't have someone defending in that gap. Or Ramos and Pepe are often out of position, coming up too high, or getting up in on crosses or corner kicks, dribbling out of the back. So when we have them playing that way, I think we do miss Casemiro.
Yeah.
But if we can sort of find that balance in the back, and without the both wingers, the outside backs screaming up the lines, I think we can deal without Casemiro.
Yes, I think we have a new person commenting here. His name is Vitali Franco. I think he's new to the channel. He was saying, let's hope that Casemiro stays. That Isco stays. I really do think that, there's talk about Casemiro. There's talk about Isco leaving. And tonight, I think when he came in, he was very sharp. He was tidy. He combinated well. He combinated well with the rest of the players, and he had a couple shots on goal.
No, it was good. It was good. Those were good minutes for Isco coming back from his injury. I think what we saw with other players that were sort of playing in the role that Isco was playing, like Asensio, I don't think he had a great match today, was sometimes, and Isco can be this way too sometimes, but too complicated. Trying to do too much, and you get the ball taken away, and you sort of stop momentum when you take 16 touches.
Yeah.
Today, Isco played well. He played simple. He combined. He took shots when he needed to. I think that's the Isco, and we know that Isco can do the magic, and he can dribble players, but he doesn't always need to play that way. There's a time, and especially when we needed to control the match and beat Espanyol's defense sort of combining and not just trying to dribble, that was really great from Isco. So I hope he stays. I'm a big fan of Isco.
Yeah.
There's room on the team for him. I don't know if maybe he thinks there isn't. Yes, someone says, Elian Zako says Isco was amazing today.
Yeah, Stefan Schwarzmeier says Isco played well. I do. I think that we have enough room for a player like that. I think that, today is a very good kind of example of how by either rotating players or by kind of circumstance, we can get through a match and we can get the 3 points, winning without BBC, well at least without B and B. Without B and C. And then also, I can't spell.
Their names.
And then also without Casemiro, I think that we have enough players to definitely keep the ball. I think that's really important, which is something that we're not kind of doing. We did it in the second half. And with the players that we have, like Asensio and Isco and James, Kroos and Modric, why don't we just, play a little bit more possession in these type of matches? Yeah, touch a little bit. That's what we got to do.
But they do need to touch the ball a little bit, because sometimes it's great to play direct, but also there needs to be a balance. And possession really opens up the field for the team with the ball, and we can make the other team sort of chase us, and that will tire them out. That will open space for us. That will create more opportunities. Someone was talking about Keylor Navas, and I think I was hearing Vitali and Iñaki talk about Keylor Navas versus. Well, actually, we were talking about this when we were watching the match. When Keylor Navas comes back, because he eventually will come back, do you think? Because Kiko Casilla had a great game today. To be fair, he had a couple of great saves, particularly that one that sort of ricocheted off Carvajal, and he got a good hand on it. Do you think that he? It was like this.
Yeah.
Do you think that he'll be he'll get the starting position back, or do you think he'll have to work his way into it?
I like Kiko. I think that he's definitely a player that I would love to see him. I don't know, maybe playing some Liga and definitely Copa del Rey. I would be happy to see Kiko Casilla playing in a Copa del Rey final. I would feel very confident with that. But I do think that Keylor Navas just has better reflexes maybe
A
is
little
kind
better
of
positioning, I think.
yeah, a little bit better positioning. Kiko has some good things, but I don't think he's quite there to be a starter at this club.
I I agree. I think that he's a good backup, and he's shown that in certain times, and we can count on him. Certainly, at his feet, with the ball at his feet, he seems calm,
Yeah.
a little bit calmer than Keylor. But I think Keylor is great one-on-one. His reaction time is a little bit better than
Yeah.
Kiko Casillas, and his I think his positioning, really.
Yeah.
His positioning is
And I
great.
think Keylor kind of has a little bit more of a presence and more kind of leadership. You see him, being a little bit more kind of active and kind of telling the guys what to do. And he has more presence on the pitch. And I feel like for Real Madrid, we're kind of used to those goalkeepers that have a lot of personality. And yeah, I mean, for me, hands down, Keylor Navas. So yeah, let's see what are the guys saying. Trigger happy. Navas is a beast.
Yes, he is a beast.
Morata needs to be world class in the absence of Benzema. It's true. It's true. We kind of have this love-hate relationship with Morata, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Morata. I was very happy to see him score in the game against Sporting because I think his time was coming, and I think he's always there. I love the way he comes back into the midfield and works hard for the ball, wins balls back. Is always wanting to be in the play, but it's just like when he needs to finish, his finishing is just it's just a little off.
Yeah.
So I think I know he's still young. I know this is his first year back with Madrid, and he's only had a couple of matches under his belt. So I think we'll give him a little bit more time to see really how he like molds into this position. But I agree. I mean, Benzema, we saw today. Gets it done.
It's funny because it looks like Morata, he really, really tries, and he gets a bunch of shots on goal and he doesn't score. And then Benzema, he looks like he's not trying. And then he gets, equal amount of shots on goal and then he scores the goal.
But sometimes less is more
weird.
Also. I think that depending on the players that you're playing with, you don't always need to come back and into where there are a bunch of players.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're creating a bigger, I guess, making it harder for yourself. Benzema has a real knack of finding the right place at the right time. He's very good at that. He's very good at finishing.
And also, let's not forget that Benzema is that...
Hey, official Nick says Benzema is beep. That's not true.
I don't think so. I
agree.
But, we got to remember that Benzema's function, or his normal function, is playing with Bale and Cristiano. So you can't have that, that true number 9 that is just going to kind of put everything away. He has to be that kind of false 9, that's that second striker that's going to play a lot to Cristiano and Bale and have a more, let's say, media punta, like attacking center mid role than an actual number 9. And I think Morata is actually pretty good at that as well. He's good at playing on the flank. I don't know. I think we have a great squad.
We gotta give Morata some time.
Yeah.
Let him find his way into that. I think once he starts scoring goals, a couple of goals, the goals will come. More and more goals will come. I think that's really what it is. It's just a matter of building confidence and getting that right feeling of like when you score a goal, this is how okay, my header goes this way.
So let's start wrapping it up here. Okay. Let's have some shout outs. Septil Warrior 214. Shout out to you, my friend. He says Benzema is a target man. I don't really agree with that. Let's. What do you think? Who was the MVP of the match?
MVP of this match. I'm gonna give it to Lucas Vazquez. And official Nick is saying sorry. Don't apologize. It's okay. You're welcome to your own opinion. My man of the match tonight was Lucas Vazquez.
Yeah.
I liked. I mean, he played full 90, right? He played full 90 or whatever, 93 minutes. And he was very consistent. I think he's a consistent player. We always know what we're gonna get out of him. He did really well today. He was very dangerous on the dribble. He had an assist. So,
Lucas Vazquez. For me, it's kind of hard. I mean, I do agree with you. I would definitely say Lucas Vazquez, but just to say somebody different,
okay,
I would probably say Benzema. At the end of the day, he was the most dangerous guy out there. Again, he looked kind of slow. He looks kind of big, right?
He's
kind of
not.
bloated.
I follow him
maybe
on Instagram.
He's eating a lot of empanadas or something.
empanadas.
Empanadas?
I follow him on Instagram. I feel like I've seen a picture of him with his shirt off. He's not fat.
But he looks kind of heavy. Maybe
Maybe.
like kind of slow. But yeah, I would say Benzema. Trigger happy saying cross for me and James.
Kroos, to be fair,
Salma is saying cross for me too.
Kroos had a great second half. His first half, granted, he came off the bench, and we were talking about this. He came off the bench and was cold.
Yeah.
He didn't even warm up. I know it's hard, even if the match has only been playing 10 minutes, it's hard to step into a match when people have had time to warm up, have had multiple touches on the ball, and for you to expect to be at their level when you have not even warmed up. But I thought Kroos did well.
So let's send some shout outs. Chemo has been asking for a shout out.
Hey, Chemo!
Here's your shout out. Ivan. Shout out to you too.
Or shootout.
Darwin Ortiz. Shout out to you. Un saludo, my friend. Rafael Varan, of course, he's watching. He didn't play tonight, and he's watching. Trigger Happy, of course, you have kind of like permanent shout-outs from us.
Always.
Juan Churro, Colombiano, man. Nobody was standout player, but everybody lost the ball a lot. I agree with that.
Franco, wherever you may be.
At Vitali Franco, shout out to you, new subscriber. We love you, Vitali.
Karim Caras,
Karim Caras, what's up, brother?
Man, he sent us a snap the other day from class.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Yeah, you should be studying, Karim. Tyler Simon, shout out to you. Elian Saco, Rafael Varan, saludo en español, but shout out in English. Who else?
Aytuk Effendi, hello. Stefan Schwarzmeier, hello. Kroos is a smart player. He is a smart player, I would agree. And hey, thanks for following and watching our live show.
Yeah,
hope you enjoyed and hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah, so just by the way, you probably saw this. Love it. We love it. Just the last thing here, guys, just before we wrap it up, make sure that you check out our website. The link is in the description. There's a ton of stuff there. There's a ton of fan moods and top tweets and a lot of cool stuff that is powered by Blurt.
It is really cool.
Definitely go check it out. It's at the Football Republic. Link in the description. Also, if you don't follow us on Snapchat, this lovely lady is on Snapchat. She's always snapping the matches. We do some behind the scenes as well as when we're shooting and stuff. And that's pretty much it. We have a really cool week coming up because we have previews. The real review is up tomorrow. That's going to be cool. And we have some cool matches. We got Villarreal.
Villarreal on Wednesday. Yep. Las Palmas on Sunday or Saturday.
So there's going to be a lot of stuff for you.
Those will be good matches. Yeah. I'm excited for this week of football. It's going to be a good week of football.
So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Couple more shout-outs to Ibro Knight, Ala Madrid.
It says set looks great. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. Trigger Happy. See you later, buddy.
Trigger Happy likes it too. Thank you.
And see you tomorrow.